Check, check, check. Okay. Good, good. Hey, guys. Wow. How convenient that I just so happen to have this handkerchief in my pocket at the same time I need to sneeze. But seriously, let me ask you a question. Have you ever used the paper tissues in the bathrooms for drying your hands? Well, I sure don't. But for all of you who do, you need yourself a handkerchief. Oh, shoot, sorry. This has been in my dad's pocket for 21 years. That's like 7 times 3. Tree all began because of this. He got it from a mountain in Korea. He'd go around to all the Korean national parks and collect them when he lived there. Paper tissues in the green school bathrooms have always been his pet peeve. Last year, the first graders did a survey on the green school community on what they thought the best way it was to dry your hands in the bathrooms. One option was fabric towels. The second was paper tissues. And the third was shake and dry. Shake and dry was picked, and it was great. All you needed to do was wash, shake, and ta-da, dry hands. However, this year, paper tissues were brought back into the bathrooms because it was determined that shake and dry was unsanitary. But I mean, come on, people. There's definitely a better way than putting paper tissues back into the bathrooms because, like, paper tissues equals dead trees, right? Whoa. So for the past couple of years, my mom been bugging me to make my own family business. Well, why don't you make handkerchiefs like the one Uppa has and sell them around Bali, she said. They'll have maps of tourist places and everyone will buy them. Well, it was a great idea, but at the time, I wasn't too into it. Then, one cold day in Nepal, I found a handkerchief with a map of the Himalayas that looked almost identical to the one that my dad had. Once again, my mom brought up, Ben, seriously, we can make some real money if we make these and sell them in Bali. Well, she couldn't have said this at a better time because I'd been looking for a quest project to do. So, the following night, we tried to find a name for the brand. And so, Tree was born. So, what's the purpose of my brand? Well, before I answer that question, let me ask you all a question. What companies are responsible for the fires in Indonesia? Anyone? Anyone? What kind of companies? Palm oil? Well, yes, you guys are all correct. But according to a recent analysis of World Resource Institute data in September, more than 1/3, 33%, of fires in Sumatra are occurring on pulpwood concessions. Pulpwood. Did you guys also know that 77,000 hectares of land natural forests are at risk of being slashed and burned for industrial pulp and paper plantations in Kalimantan? I didn't think so. But to top that off, more of the hotspots from last October's catastrophic fires in Kalimantan were found on pulpwood land than palm oil land. Bet you didn't know that. So, which one? Oh, shoot. No, I meant to go backwards. Okay. So, back to the purpose of my project. What's the purpose of my project? Well, first, I want to change all of your mindsets. When a consumer buys a tree handkerchief, they'll think twice about using paper next time. That awareness of wasteful consumption will come back to them every time they use paper products, so they'll use less. Paper products in Indonesia come from companies that are in part causing the fires and haze in Kalimantan. Not only do they cut down trees to make paper, they slash and burn land to make room for plantations. My second purpose, well, I want to do something about this situation with the forest burning in Indonesia. I mean, we don't want a forest that looks like this. We want a forest that looks a little more like this, right? Right? Right. So that's where my handkerchiefs come in. We needed a brand to start off this idea. So my dad contacted the guy who made the Cool Connection logo and asked if we could meet with him. When I met Pakaris, we first talked about the logo. We needed something that would appeal to people buying a handkerchief. So we made a sketch, and this happened. It was an orangutan with a hand over its mouth. But, that was a little too sad for us. So then we said, hey, Pakaris, can't you make something a little more, hipster? So then he looked up hipster logos, and this happened. As you can see, there's an orangutan face in the middle. Below is my brand name, Tree. Tree could be understood in many different ways. You guys might think of it as a literal growing tree, but I just personally came up with it because I like the sound of T, R, and I. Just so happened to be the Balinese meaning for your connection with God, nature, and people, which is pretty cool. Tria Takurana. Oh, shoot. Next, we need to make a map. So we told Pakaris, hey, can you make a Canggu map? Because that was the place I lived, and I knew the most. So we listed all the shops and local businesses, and he came up with something like this. If you look at the map, you'll be able to see local shops and businesses on them. Our plan was to go up to them and ask for 1 mil a year to have them advertise on my handkerchiefs. This was our original prototype, but the only problem was the designs weren't so clear because of the abundance of colors, and the fabric was wrong. So we had to go back to making a handkerchief with only 2 colors. Turned out, my dad had a lot of connections. He introduced me to a man named Pakriata, a nice guy who happened to have a print shop himself and owns free coffee. We went to his office where he gave me a free drink, and we began to discuss about the colors and the fabrics of the handkerchiefs. It took us a while to find out all about the printing techniques, but luckily, we had Pakriata on our side. So a lot of people have been asking me, hey Ben, seriously, why handkerchiefs? Well, aside from the real purpose of my project for reforestation, I actually think handkerchiefs are pretty cool. You might see them as a dull, lame piece of cloth, but no. I see them as a multi-tool. Use them to either hang out of your back pocket like a gangster, put in your front pocket like a hipster, you wear it like a bandit and save yourself from engine fumes while riding the motorbike, boom. Save your butt cheeks from getting roasted on your motorbike on a hot Bali afternoon. Give it to your friends as a cool souvenir, or just eat, surf, and shop like a local map. So one night, my mom and dad told me about a group of Green School kids and Cool Connection kids who were going to Kalimantan to make some connections there. Wow, I thought. This might be a great time for me to go to Kalimantan, see orangutans firsthand, see what's going on in Kalimantan, and see the organizations that are helping out there. And so, a month later, I was on my way to Kalimantan with some of the Cool Connection kids and Green School kids. The Cool Connection kids are super cool. Here's a picture of them. In Kalimantan, we were able to see orangutans in their natural habitat. We met inspiring young activists who are fighting to spread word about Daikni's human rights and fighting fires sometimes when they need to. We saw an eco-literacy program set up in a remote village started by Pak Ferry, who is an intern here. See the beauty of Daikni's culture. And we met conservationists in peat swaps who are helping to conserve the forest and also fighting fires when they need to. So, how did the Kalimantan trip help my project? Well, now I have causes to support, and I was able to see what my causes were doing firsthand. Outdrop is an organization that focuses on conservation and research of peatlands, which is orangutan habitat. Ranuwellum is a group of young university students who are spreading word about Daikni's human rights, and their goal is to stop the fires in haze. Ransalbuku is an eco-literacy program set up in a remote village where Pak Ferry comes from. So when I came back to Bali, my original plan was to go up to those restaurants and shops and ask them for 1 million a year to have them as advertisement on my handkerchiefs. But then we found ourselves a little problem. How could I go up to these local businesses as an international kid asking for money? It just sounded crazy and turned out to be illegal. So what could I do? Then I thought, what if I had the cool connection kids help me out? They were with me in Kalimantan, and they were just as inspired as I was. So when I told them what I was doing to help Kalimantan, they were more than happy to help me. So that was a problem out of our way. Oh, okay. So what's ahead for Tree? Well, after this, I'll be selling my handkerchiefs at Sustainable Solutions, and 100% of the profits will be going to Ranu Wellam, Rental Buku, and Outdrop. Next September, I'll be going to the Gin conference, and there I'll be bringing my donation money, and I'll be presenting at the conference. Shinta the activist is coming during Sustainable Solutions, so there I'll be able to catch up with her and talk to her about my brand more, and that will be super cool. Right now, I only have a map of Canggu and Green School, but I can make several more. I can make a Seminyak map, a Sanur map, an Ubud map on my handkerchiefs. There's just more to come, so stay tuned. I'll also need to learn more about marketing, and maybe I'll be able to sell my handkerchiefs at the shops and local businesses I listed down my handkerchiefs. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to meet Leonardo DiCaprio himself and fight to save forests in Kalimantan. Thank you.